What's up YouTube, James MTG Biggie here, and today I'm making a video just because it seems like in the last few days in the Magic the Gathering community, people have kind of lost their damn minds. I'm going to preface this before we get started. There will be probably language that could be offensive or more adult than my usual themes. I try to keep myself sort of very even keel. I try not to use any language for the most part. I know every now and then I do. I don't censor myself, but I try to keep a mindful thought when I'm speaking in my videos to keep it pretty much appropriate for most people most of the time. However, the subject matter of this video is not going to lend itself very well to that. So I'm going to preface it now. If you're not into hearing words that can be offensive, if you're not into hearing me swear, I'm probably going to swear in this video. So you've been warned. And here is why, and this is actually kind of relevant to this video that I'm making. Recently, DeMars, very good Magic player, plays a lot of Legacy. I've watched a lot of his content, wrote an article for Channel Fireball, a critique of gamer language, where he explains in the beginning an anecdote about a video that he made for Channel Fireball that was tagged on YouTube or flagged on YouTube and demonetized for whatever reason, and he's kind of explaining how he doesn't know exactly what it was that triggered YouTube to flag his video and demonetize it. So, he goes through this whole thing and then explains how it made him think more of language we use at Magic tournaments, at game stores, in public in general, and whatever. And he, says here very flat out, hate speech, goodbye, and good riddance. And then he goes on to explain specific types of language that need to be removed from gaming. And he goes on to explain rape as one of them, specifically when you are beaten in a game of Magic very, very badly, and people will be like, oh, I got raped that game. How it's inappropriate and shitty to trivialize something so horrible as rape and to apply it to a card game, and to be insensitive to those around you who may have had rape affect their lives one way or another, either directly or tangentially or whatever. It's pretty shitty to say, I got raped that game or whatever. And I agree with that. I think that when you are talking in public in front of people you don't know, at a Magic tournament, at F&M, at a GP, at a Star City Open, at a PPTQ, whatever the case may be, you should probably not say that. And then he moves on to saying, go kill yourself. This applies a lot to comment sections on YouTube, on articles, on stuff like that, or even in real life. I haven't ran into it really too much. I've seen it in comment sections and stuff online when people have the anonymity of being thousands of miles apart and just able to say whatever they feel like saying through a computer screen or a phone screen or whatever. But I agree that, saying go kill yourself is not something that you should utter to another human in any situation, really. Specifically, a place where people are together playing a game and trying to have fun. And then the third is speaking about illnesses and using illnesses to describe things that are bad. I've never really seen this in person at a Magic tournament, but people say this hand is cancer or AIDS, meaning bad. This one I haven't really seen come up, but if it does, okay. Trivializing an illness is kind of shitty. I understand that. Again, also using words like retarded, which we can all agree is pretty much, we should retire that word and it should be left alone. But anyway, his article is fairly to the point, and I understand where he's coming from, and I understand the article, and it's unfortunate that people have to, be exposed to this sort of stuff this often or enough where people have to write entire articles about it. Which I get, and I don't think these things are things that you should trivialize or joke about at a Magic tournament, and you should try to be more sensitive to people around you. However, I do know that there is another side to it, and there's a lot of people jumping in the comment section defending the way that they speak or their people's need to just say what they want and trying to avoid censorship and stuff like that. I'm not a fan of censorship in any manner. And I'll get back to that later. But after this article came out, Jeremy from MTG Headquarters, or what used to be MTG Headquarters is now Unsleeved Media, a YouTube creator, created an entire separate channel called The Portering, which basically it seems like his mission statement here is to try to shitpost and be contrarian and to find people to disagree with or to try to, like, seems like he's trying to start this crusade for the internet trolls where he stands up for the people who already don't have too much of a problem standing up for themselves in comment sections all over the internet. And, like, I get it. Like, I agree that perhaps people are sensitive and everybody seems a little too sensitive these days. But, like, for good reason. People have reason to be sensitive, and it's nobody's spot to tell people that they're wrong for being sensitive. However, this whole channel, like, he made a video about that article that Brian DeMars posted, and he named it a very clickbaity thing to start with, where he name drops Channel Fireball, tries to give me AIDS, true story, where he breaks down that post and is like, well, you're trying to censor people, and it seems insane to me that you're trying to limit with what people say when they're trying to just unwind at Friday Night Magic or whatever. And, like, I get that to a degree, but, like, we can agree that, like, talking about rape's shitty, and making rape seem like something as trivial as a card game is shitty. So, like, I see your point, and, like, I don't want to tell people how to talk, and I don't think we should police people. He posted another video where Jeff Hoogland tweeted, who Jeff Hoogland, those who don't know, very good Magic player who's often on the Star City Games circuit and whatever, and pretty successful there, says, would be sweet if Wizards Magic, which is the Magic Gathering official Twitter, took a hard line on rude speech at FNM and DCI banned people defending it on the Channel Fireball article, where he's basically calling for folks, for Wizards to go to this article and find folks defending saying things like rape and calling things cancer and telling people to go kill themselves, like sussing out all these comments and banning them from the DCI, which I think is also an insane idea, just for the sure fact that, like, that's kind of like a very extreme take on it, and B, the logistics alone would be ridiculous. You'd have to dedicate so many resources and so much time and effort to not only locating these articles, but then matching up people's Facebook names to their DCI numbers, and, like, it would just be an extreme waste of resources. And the thing is, like, I see everybody's article or everybody's side of it and everybody's video and article and all that stuff talking about this, and I think everybody is missing the central point and the take home from this. And there have been videos, I saw that Evan Irwin and Ruben Bressler and Aaron Campbell on Magic Mics this week spoke about the article itself. Very, very... Actually, their stance on it was the most objectionably intelligent, it seemed. But everybody, including them, is missing the central theme of it and the central point, I feel. And I think if everybody could just put this thought in their head every time something like this happens and comes up, I think the world and the Magic community and Magic tournaments in general would be a better place. And that is, don't be a dick. That's it. It's like the golden rule. Just don't be a dick. It would help everybody understand each other a little bit better. And basically what I'm saying is, if you go to a Magic tournament and you just get your ass handed to you by somebody, don't be like, oh, I got raped that game. Just don't be a dick. That's all. And if you're at a Magic tournament and you see somebody lose a game very badly and say something like that, or start to say something like that, don't be a dick to them. Don't dismiss them and don't call them out. Don't try to get them banned from the DCI. Maybe have a conversation with them as a human and maybe say, hey, that's not a very cool thing to say. Here's why. Or, dude, you got beat. I get it. Handle it better, though, and here's why. And if everybody could just kind of do a little bit of self-policing and take a little bit of care and a little bit of realization that we're all human and we all, A, make mistakes and we all, B, have feelings, the world would be a better place. Magic tournaments especially. And like I said before, I don't believe in censorship. I don't think we should try to kick out everybody that says shit like this from the community, because if we did, let's be real, we would lose half the community. Tournaments would stop firing places. We wouldn't have any opponents to beat very badly that would want to say shit like this. And it would be a grim place. We'd spend way too much time and effort trying to police everything. But on the other side, just be mindful, man. Don't say go kill yourself to somebody in a comment section on a YouTube video or in an article or whatever. Don't censor yourself. You could be as on the edge as you want without stepping over and being a dick. I, too, was a young, ignorant kid once, and I've used terms like this in other facets of my life. And I've used words that are very, very offensive to certain people. And I have trivialized and misused and used different meanings of words, or words that don't mean something to mean something. And you grow out of it. You grow up. You learn that you're not the only person on Earth and that words matter to people. And it's tough being somebody like myself because it's very hard to offend me. Things don't offend me easily. It takes a lot. It takes a whole lot. So I understand that I'm not a sensitive person, but I understand that other people are. And that's kind of where you gotta live in life. Is just don't be a dick. It's very easy. It's very simple. And I think if we could use the example of just keeping this stuff in check, just if you feel like saying this or you get blown out in a game, I'm not gonna offer up some cheesy alternative, but before you say, shit, I got raped in that game, just don't. Just alright, you got beat poorly, I don't care what you say to replace it, as long as it's not something equivalent or worse, or, not that much better. And like I said, if you catch somebody saying shit like this, don't dismiss them. Don't be a dick. Don't tell them that they need to leave your game store or leave your area, or they don't belong here in this community. Be like, hey man, could you keep it in check? Or, can you try to dial that back a little bit? That's hurtful to some people. It'll go a long way. Just conversing with people and opening up a line of communication can go miles and miles and miles. And will have a more profound effect on people, I feel, than just being we need to ban these people. That would be fun. Or being can we agree that everybody that says this is a shitty person? They're not shitty people. I don't think anybody wants to be shitty, or intends on it, or says this stuff with the intent of being shitty. But it is shitty, and I get it. So have a conversation with that person. That's all. Both sides, we all need to calm down and relax and remember that we're playing a card game that has dragons and elves and shit in it, and it's not that fucking serious. It's really not. We're people, man. People need to get along. People need to stand together. There needs to be more conversation and less friction. That's all I've got to say. Everybody, like, Jeremy, dude, just chill out a little bit. Like, I get it. You're going to do what you do, and I can't stop you. But a word of advice, man, just... I don't know. I got nothing for you. Do what you do, man. Actually, you know, I appreciate that people are here on both extremes, on both ends of the spectrum, on both ends of the viewpoint spectrum, as it were. Without the extreme cases like this, like Jeremy making these videos that are so far to the contrary of a lot of the majority, and without people like Brian DeMars making articles like this that are so far to the other side, or that at least become sort of the poster child or the poster example of people who want to be so very extreme like Jeff Hoogland and start banning people for speaking rude at Magic tournaments. Like, without both extremes of it, it would be hard to figure out a middle and meet there. So thank you guys for doing that, at least. For the rest of you, just don't be a dick. It's very easy. Very, very simple. I encourage everybody to try to monitor the way they speak a little bit better, and also monitor how they react when people speak that way a little bit better. And the world will be a better place, I promise. That's it, guys. A brief announcement. No, I'll leave the announcement. I'll make a separate video. But that's all I got, guys. Please like, comment down below. Treat each other well. Everybody in my comment section so far, and maybe it's just because it's such a small group, treats each other really well, and I appreciate that from all of you. You guys are great. Let me know what you guys think about this. I apologize for the language. I really don't, though. And that's it. That's all I've got to say. So, like, share, subscribe. I'll leave a couple other videos down here to check out. And, sure, I'll link the article from Brian DeMars if anybody wanted to read it. But that's all I've got, guys, and I will talk to you again soon.